You guys have been building on the knowledge that your previous mentors were giving on you, and I hope you are building on it and having a successful journey. So today in our midst, we have a very important person in our midst, Mr. Martin Jones, and he's going to be our facilitator for today's session. Mr. Jones works under the ALA faculty, and he's going to be the one facilitating the session today on fundraising. Mr. Owens, I would love to welcome you, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Cool. Thanks very much, Ahmed. Hi, everyone. Sorry for being late. Johannesburg has bad traffic, especially when we have power outages because all the traffic lights go off. So I was stuck in my car for longer than I expected. And I'm going to manage everyone's expectations because my power will be turned off in 40 minutes. So we're not ending in 40 minutes, but I'll just have to join on my phone when we're doing a bit of work time. But thank you all for waiting. As I pull up some slides to talk about what we're going to do, it would be great just to hear in the chat, if you can write where you are calling from, where are you based? So, and also happy birthday. Thank you, Panache, for sharing. So if you can just write in the chat where you're calling in from. I'm going to start by writing Johannesburg as I get my slides up. Zimbabwe, thank you, TK. Indonesia, nice, Panache. Ahmed, I don't think I can share my slides, actually. It says you cannot start screen sharing while the other participant is sharing. Do you know what that would be?
Oh, sorry, just give me a second.
That's fine. Keep the comments in the chat coming through. Egypt, South Sudan. I'll be in Egypt quite soon. I'll be in Kenya next week, whoever said that. Amani, cool. From Ethiopia, residing in South Africa. Lovely, David. Where in South Africa
Are you able to share some?
Let me see. Yeah, I think this is good now. My slides come.
What happened?
In one moment, I'm gonna have these slides open. And subsequently in the chat, could you type in what industry your business, past business or next business will be in? Okay, and now we're off. Ahmed, can you just confirm that you can see my screen here?
Oh, yes, I can see your screen, sir.
Cool. Okay. Let's dive into this, everyone. I would love to make this as interactive as we can, so we can keep the chat moving. I see culinary industry, I see a website, baking industry. So what I expected from this session is really that we're going to be engaging and talking to a lot of different businesses that are doing a lot of different things, and then think about what common thing in terms of partnerships and fundraising can we all look at, and that might bring a little bit of value to everyone. So the goal of today's session in one headline is building a strong customer journey, okay? But what we can do is we can change that word customer for partner, we can change that word customer for donor, and we can essentially come away with this with something that we use a lot in our work, in just how to move a prospect, Okay, so that could be a donor, that could be a customer, that could be a partner. From not knowing who you are or what you do to working with you. And maybe that's being a customer who's bought your product. It could be a partner that's collaborating with you, or for us, it could be a donor that is giving to you. And I'm hoping that at the end of this session, everyone has created one donor or customer journey for their business. And also everyone has had an opportunity to say something, to speak in the chat. We're going to make sure everyone is involved in interacting. So myself, my name is Owen Martin Jones. I am originally from Scotland. If I was going to write that in the chat, Scotland is England's little brother in the United Kingdom. And I grew up in Scotland, but left when I was quite young, when I was 17. And I've been in the world of work since then in different things. My jobs have included being a journalist, being a documentary filmmaker, being a salesperson for a tech startup, being a partnerships person for an NGO in Paris, and now being the regional director of development at the African Leadership Academy. So I've been at ALA for just under 4 years, and what we do at ALA is essentially through secondary education, develop a network of really strong young leaders and connect them to the right spaces to succeed, but also support several initiatives that work closely with entrepreneurship, like the South African Ideas Festival. My focus is to raise the money for ALA. So ALA is a philanthropically supported institution, mostly. We have to submit for grants, we create partnerships, and we do long proposals that will unlock funding to our institution. So my job with our team is to find that money, build a relationship with the person that has it, and then close that relationship to the point where they make a donation to the African Leadership Academy. Almost
Sorry,
all of
Mr.
my
Jones,
work.
for interrupting you.
Yeah, all good.
Sorry, have you already started sharing your screens? Because the participants are saying they are only able to see the screen saying launch meeting.
Oh, how strange. I am sharing my screen. Thank you for being my referee in the chat. Let me try and figure that out. Okay. Participants. Let me open the chat.
Now we can see.
Can you see now?
Can you all confirm?
I can't see everyone's faces, but I can see Panther Deng. Panther Deng, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Yeah, my man. Thank you. Cool. Okay, so building a customer journey. That's what we're doing today. This is me. I head up the development work in South Africa for the African Leadership Academy. My job is to find where there is money, create a relationship with the person that owns that money, and then ask that person and successfully close it so that the organization can be funded. And the goal of today's session is to look at what a donor or customer journey looks like for us, how we treat that process, and hopefully you can apply it to your own business. I was going to do an icebreaker, but we don't have a huge amount of time. But we're going to do it very briefly anyway. We just won't share why afterwards. So what I want you to all do quickly is to look around the space that you're in and find 2 things specifically that complement each other, right? 2 things that have to go together to be really successful and effective. And I want you to bring them back in front of your screen and hold them up, and we'll have a little look at them. I'm going to do the same thing. Take 30 seconds to 1 minute, all right? You can all leave the screen and then come back with 2 things, and I would like you to hold them up in front of the screen and maybe write in the chat what they are. This will make sense afterwards. Thank you. Let's go for it.
Very good. That's it. Okay.
But I also have to say, I have mine. We're going to need some more cameras on for this to work. So I see everyone's camera coming back on. Ahmed, you've got a phone charger and a phone. Exactly. I got it's attached, but it's a candle and a candle holder. Let me see, Panache. Yeah, Arik, what have you got there? A book and a pen.
A book and a pen. Yeah.
Nice one. Thank you. Arik, you want to tell us quickly why they go together?
Yeah. What I want to mean from there is only one thing. You know, you cannot write without a pen, and you cannot write without a book. So that's how they work together. Yeah.
Nice one. Panache, I'm going to come to you. What have you got? You just dissected a bit.
Yeah, I have a refill and a barrel.
Okay, nice. Why do they go together quickly in like one sentence?
Okay, I think it's difficult to write without a barrel.
Nice. I love it. That's great. Short pitch, concise, effective. Ahmed,
thank you.
Your turn.
Okay, so I have a phone and a charger. I mean, this is self-explanatory. I'm sure, yes, you can have your phone on for some time, but once it's off, it's no longer useful. So you still need this charger. That's why I have my charger.
Lovely, lovely. Let me move down here. Jumana, could I come to you?
Yes, sure. I found this glove near me. So yes, it's gloves in my hand. And for sure to keep my hand warm.
Nice. That's it. That's exactly what we need. Now, sorry to people who have their camera off, but I'm going to come to you now. Can I call? Is someone talking? Dawid, do you want to go?
Yeah. Yeah. Just as I look at my room, my eyes fall on like my trusty AirPods, and they're slick, their case, and yeah, I think these two items are perfect pair that complement each other. So yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Dawid. I'm going to move down the line here. Shams, you look like you have two very good bits of kit there. Over to you.
I have my glasses here, and this is the box that I can save them. Without the box, the glass can be broken, and this is how I can save them from being broken.
Very good. Okay, thank you. And then we're going to go to the last one. I'm going to call on someone who has their camera off. No, I'm not. It seems like I might have run out. Okay, we're going to go back to the session then. Thank you all very much for sharing. If you might have guessed, the purpose of that is because in order to have an effective customer journey and success with your customer, you need to be able to figure out a way that you work together and why you go together with that partner, right? It's just the matter in any walk of this fundraising, this sales, this business development world that we're going to talk about. When you're going to pitch someone, you have to speak in their language, right? When I do it in my fundraising, I talk in the language of the donor and the objectives of the donor. And when I used to do sales for a tech startup, I would talk in the language of the customer that I'm being specific to. Okay, so thank you for all participating in that. What you see on your screen is the framework for a standard customer journey. Okay. There's essentially 5 main stages of a successful customer journey. Okay. And the theory is, if you execute on all of those stages effectively and well, you can move a long list of prospects through the journey into a smaller number of partners or donor of customers. Okay. So what you're seeing here is we always start in the prospecting world, right? It's about identifying who your potential customers and partners and funders are. Then you're going to make contact with that person or that business or whoever it is. And then the relationship building really begins. Then you're going to make that person like you. And that's what we call cultivating. Okay. Then, of course, you have to make the ask. You have to ask that person or that partner for what you want and what you need. That's really the work we just did. And then this last column, customer success, is something that I don't think enough businesses really think about in detail and depth, or NGOs or nonprofits. but it's making sure that customer stays a customer, and it's making sure the donor gives to you again. It's making sure the partner comes back for work another time. It's really important in order to have a strong pipeline of good friends and partners. So my objective for today's session with you all is that you apply this to your own business, and we come away with 1 or 2 customers, and we have a point in each of these columns that you can go away and work on. So the other thing I just want to point out, I don't know all your businesses. I imagine a lot of them are profit-based, in which maybe submitting for grant money wasn't the top of your mind. But I want to use this session to bring it back to the top of your mind, because you all exist within an age bracket and within a geography of business ownership in which I'm sure there is some grant funding available to you. And you can obviously continue making profit. That's very important. It's very important to the sustainability of your business. But that profit is also important for you finding grant money that you can submit to and unlock. It strengthens your sustainability case, and essentially you can just get a bit more money to accelerate on this journey of entrepreneurship that you are on. So without further ado, let's start working through what all these columns are, okay? So prospecting, this is the earliest stage of your journey, okay? And it's a very important one, and I recommend you all try and think about it all the time. I'm sure you do. But you have to first identify who that big number of people is at the beginning of the journey that you are going to steer and shortlist and essentially funnel into your successful donors or customers. So you want maybe you want. It's not a number, it's not just quantity, and it's not just quality, because you need to qualify a lot of really good prospects in order for this to work, right? So you want to, I think a good trick with that I would say is make categories before you begin, okay? So I said, I saw a baking business within the chat, right? So I'm going to say if you're a young founder of a baking business, you have a few people to put in your prospecting space. You could be submitting for a grant, okay? So you want to probably make category 1, foundations that give grants. And then you have B2B. Maybe you have a wholesale business that want to buy your baked products, okay? And you want to shortlist who those could be, okay? And then B2C is maybe difficult because it's a lot of walk-in business, but perhaps you also want to approach a corporation that could be a long-term partner. So what you would do then with those 3 categories, right, is start researching and listing who a number of those corporates or those foundations or those B2B prospects are, and begin putting them into these different categories, but qualify them. Is it worth you spending your time pursuing those people in order to see a return? Okay. Now, the last thing I put in here is new board member, and it's really important to think about, okay? Because a new board member, as you're going to see in the contact column, can unlock doors for you as a voluntary leader for the work that you're doing. And it doesn't just need to be a formal board person. It can just be someone that really is an ambassador for you and the work that you do, who's connected to places and partners that can be useful for you. So once you have a list of, let's say, 70 to 100 qualified prospects that can give you money, that can be a partner, or that can be a customer, you move into thinking about how am I going to make contact with these people, okay? And there's a few ways to do it. And I've just put them into 3 main things here. But I would love to maybe also hear some thoughts in the chat about how we can also make contact with new prospects, okay? But what I've done here is continuing from that last thing, which is the new board member, okay? Voluntary leadership is a really good way of making a connection to a funder, to a partner, or to a prospect, okay? That means going to one of these ambassadors for you and your work and saying, I need to speak to this list of prospects. And remember, you have your list of like 70 prospects. So it's going to that person, that board member or that ambassador and saying, Do you know anyone at any of these places that you can introduce me to? That's a really good way of doing it, and it's probably the best way if you want impactful connections. The next, and I'm a salesperson before, and I think you're probably all salespeople somehow because you do the business stuff, and you've become unsuccessful founded entrepreneurs already. You must have done some sales. But the next thing is just cold outreach, finding email addresses on the websites of these people, finding phone numbers on the websites of these people, and just slowly working your way down the list with an introductory email or an introductory phone call to hopefully have a follow-up meeting and hopefully close their support. And the last thing I put here is LinkedIn searching, because it's really, really useful in the modern day to make contact with people on LinkedIn. Everyone's on it, everyone wants to share their expertise and everyone wants to share their knowledge. Reaching out to these people on LinkedIn with a short 300-character pitch is a quick way to make contact with these people. But in the chat, quickly, I would just like everyone to write, if they have an idea, what's another way you can make contact with people that you want to connect with, okay? I'm going to start, and I'm going to write meeting them at an event. So everyone, if you have any ideas, new suggestions on how you could make contact with a customer, with a donor, or with a partner, please write it in the chat, and we'll just take a few of these. Not seeing anything in the chat. If you're with me, how else would you meet a prospective partner? Arrange a lunch meeting. Cool, thank you, Aya. Call the customer service to take a contact. Lovely, Abdul Rahman. Conducting advertisement seminars in main markets. That's great, Arik. Reaching out to your customer at their pleases. That's good. There's a lot of ways that you can make contact with these people that can help your business grow. We're seeing good ones in the chat there. Thank you. So now, this is not the most important bit of the customer journey, but it is the bit where you're going to start seeing those 100 people really narrow, okay? That number will reduce to a smaller number of people, but a small group of people who are very likely to give you the money you need, okay? And I like to split this cultivating stage into two parts. The first part, because it's about you having a small team, you having a lot of things to do and not much resource to do it. I think it's about looking at if you can have low touch points that don't require much of your time, but can really start qualifying people for if they're going to give you money, be a partner or be a donor or not. Okay, so these low touch points are things that don't necessarily mean a face-to-face meeting. You can be emailing these people, email drip campaigns. If you don't use these, I would recommend it. Look up an email drip campaign. It's essentially, I'm sure most of you know this, but over a month-long period, you schedule 4 to 5 to 6 emails that tell a story about why you want this person to become one of your partners and the work that you do and celebrating the work you do or the offers that you have or whatever it is that's going to be appealing to this person. You set a timeline of 4 to 6 weeks, maybe longer, and you schedule these emails that are going to hit their inbox and it's going to re-trigger their brain about the last one and it's going to get them excited about the next one. In the process, get them subscribed to a newsletter, get them following your social media, make sure they're interested and engaged. And then when you know the people, the prospects, the businesses that have essentially received your emails and responded to them, signed up to your newsletter, follow you on social media, you can start thinking about, okay, now I use my time very wisely and in a more useful and effective way with high touch points, which involve more of my physical time and my team's time, but it's going to get that person to like us even more to a really high degree where they're nearly your partner or donor. Okay. handwritten letters or post, elevator pitch, exhibitions. Thank you. These are great. I'm still seeing them come in the chat. Shams, Dawit, and David. Now, these high touch points for us at ALA, hosting events is huge. For the African Leadership Academy, we get to go into a market, let's say New York City, Boston, London, where we know there's a lot of our donors that could give us a lot of money. And we bring in some amazing alumni, maybe a student, a guest speaker that's really well known. And we put a lot of effort into having a really high touch point with some of our most prospective donors, okay? Hosting one-on-one meetings. Maybe you travel to a different part of the country, maybe you travel to a different country. Do the virtual meetings, but those meetings, right, are high touch points that require an hour of your time or so. You want to make sure that that prospect is worth the hour of your time before you get to that point. So I like to put meetings as a high touch point, but it's up to you where you put that. Site visits, it's a really good tool. I saw bakery in there, right? I've seen different businesses. Bringing that partner or that donor or the customer to where your work happens and making them impressed and excited is a really high touch point. And then board meetings, right? Let's go back to that new board member, voluntary leadership, okay? Bringing in these ambassadors for your work to meet this partner or this prospect or this donor, it adds credibility to what you do. Because it says this person that is the CEO of one of the biggest companies in the country, okay, is saying my work is worth you investing in and being a part of. And it means a lot. So I'd really recommend thinking about that as a high touch point in your cultivation stage. Now, thinking about our friend Panache and his deconstructed biro pen, right? This is what we're talking about when we're asking, why do two things go together? Okay. And it's really, it's not worth your time, your mental health, your tiredness to work hard on prospecting, on contacting, and on cultivating if you don't know how to make the ask. Okay, so pitch training is really worth looking for. There's a lot of good free pitch training materials on the internet, and you can reach out to nonprofits that help people with pitch training. But for me, I just gave a few things to think about here. Okay. But also, before I say that, it's important to think about when you want to be making asks of people to help with your cash flow. And it also helps with keeping with deadlines, helps with keeping with cultivating. If you know that, after 1 or 2 months, you're making contact with people, then you give about 6 months to cultivate this person. And then you know that at the end of that 7 or 8 month period, you're making an ask. You're at least going to have X amount of prospects there. But thinking about asking, okay? Number one, be direct. It's always a useful thing. What do you want from that person? Why are they giving your time? Especially in my line of work, it can be very uncomfortable sometimes to ask somebody for 30,000 US dollars of their own money. It's an awkward thing to do. And one of the most useful tools I've had is telling that person how much we need, why we need it, and why does that have an impact. So I would always recommend, if you're doing sales, if you're pitching, if you're asking someone for money or their partnership or their time, be direct and be clear, because it shows that their time is worth a lot and you respect that. Why does it benefit them, right? Why does my candle holder need to exist for my candle to work? It's because if it doesn't, the wax goes on the table and the house goes on fire. I don't know. Panache, if your pen doesn't go together, then neither of the things work. Understand who your partner is, understand why your services, why your products benefit them, why their grant makes sense to go to your business. Do your research on who your prospect is, and make the most of that moment. What's the return on their investment? Quantify it. Everyone needs numbers, right? A lot of my job is just telling a nice story, right? Depends who I'm meeting with. But if I want to go and do a B2B partnership with a bank in Uganda, I need to tell that bank why their numbers are going to convert if they make a donation and support ALA. So make sure you have a whole toolkit, okay? on why this money and this investment is going to work out. Okay, nice stories for sure, but numbers, right? What's the quantifiable impact of that contribution, of that partnership? I just want to highlight what Dawit said in the chat, and I'm really sorry if I'm mispronouncing anyone's names, first of all. But Dawit had a really, really good idea, and we do this. It's actually a really creative way of working with new partners and getting their attention. Dawit, can I ask you to unmute and maybe tell the group what that is? It was a really good idea, and I think it exists in both contact and cultivating. So over to you.
Yeah, I was talking about it's also a creative way, like sending personal gifts for the targeted donor will also motivate them and also attract them to work with you. And also you can apply it in any ways. So I feel like it is a thoughtful and personalized gifts can be like a great way to make a lasting impression on a business person that we are aiming on. So considering like sending a gift that relates to their interest, or it might be to their hobbies, or it might be to their business that they're doing right now to showcase your like creativity, talent, and potential. If they actually invested on you, that's what you're going to show them. Yeah, to show like your potential if you got supported by them, something like that.
Lovely, thank you, Dawit. So we do it a lot. It's a really creative way of getting someone's attention, right? We have artwork from students, which is really impressive, or we have books that alumni have written, and we send these to our donors and our partners just to highlight A, how good the people in our network are, but B, how much we think and we care about them and that we're creative. So thank you, Dawit. I'm going to ask you all to do a little bit of that work in a minute. So thank you, Dawit, for preparing us.
Thank you.
Moving on. Okay, and I said this at the beginning, customer success is so important. Okay? Like a lot of business development teams that I've worked with and jobs and companies I've been with don't do enough of this. Once someone agrees to work with you, to be a donor, to be a partner, that's your strongest prospect for next year. When you think about it, right? The new person you want to make contact with that's going to take a lot of work. It's less work for you to make that person keep liking you and keep believing in you than making someone completely new form a belief of you. Okay, so I just really encourage everyone that don't end at that last red line when someone says, here, grant of 20,000 USD. Don't just go, bingo, now we get to work. Get to work, but make sure every month you're checking in with that person, you're asking how the partnership is for them, you're learning the needs of that customer, and you're essentially retaining their business later on. So we've got 5 minutes before my power goes out. But this is why I'm talking about this. This is the finished image, okay? And this is what it takes really across business and non-profit to build a customer journey and a pipeline that ends with that big green dollar sign, okay? And over a timeline that suits you and your team and your business, it's about understanding who the prospect is and why they're a prospect. Are they a company? Are they a philanthropic foundation? Is this a B2B partner? Is it a B2C customer? Is it a new board member that's going to be the voluntary leadership that I need? Next, how do I make contact with them? Do I go through a board member? Do I call them? Do I email them? Do I send a gift? Do I look them up on LinkedIn? And then once I have their attention, how do I use their attention to get them down the line? Ensuring their inbox is getting something from me every week for 4 weeks. Ensuring they're receiving our newsletter, ensure they're following our social media and seeing what we're doing. Getting them at an event that we're hosting, meeting them in person, making the effort to go and see that person or that partner and showing your interest in working with them. And then when you think they're at that point, right? And normally they let you know. Normally they tell you, okay, maybe we can work together. Be direct, be clear, show them why that investment is going to return large and it's going to benefit their organization. Let them know what you want to ask them. Make sure it's not the first time that they've heard about this thing. You know, I've been pitched cold before and it feels really uncomfortable, right? When you're in a coffee shop and someone just says, here's a pitch, I need $20,000. What do you think? It's like, you know, I didn't see that coming. So make sure that person knows why you're going to ask, and they know it's coming, and then it's just about filling in the blank details for them. And then once they agree to be your partner, your customer, your donor, look after them, because it feels pretty bad when you lose one, right? And it's pretty easy to keep them. So this is a basic outline for a customer journey. And before we go on to the task, my power might cut any second, but the task that we're going to now do, okay, and everyone's going to go away as individuals and work on this for about 10 minutes, is I want you to think about 2 different customer journeys for 2 different type of prospect that exist for your business. And I want you to come back and talk to me in these 5 stages, okay? So you're going to ask, what group of prospect are they in and why? Are they a company? Are they a foundation? Is it B2B? Is it something I'm not even thinking about for your business? You know, please educate me in this process on what you do and who you want to work with. How are you going to make contact with that prospect?
Sorry, Mr. Owen, do they have to drop their answers in the chat?
I think he's disconnected.
Okay.
Yeah, he's disconnected from the meeting.
Mr. Owens, can you hear me? Okay, Mr. Owens dropped from the call. I think he will be back soon. He has joined.
Hi everyone. Sorry, my power did go out as expected. So you're going to have me on my phone for the rest of the session. Ahmed, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send the slides to you, if that's okay. And you could project the task slide and maybe the customer journey slide for everyone as they work on this task. Is that okay?
Okay, let me.
I'll send it to you on Teams.
Are you sending them on the chat? Oh,
no, I'll send it to you on Teams. While we do that, does anyone have any questions? Feel free to just take yourself off mute and ask them. I can hear you.
I was asking on their behalf, do they have to send their responses on the chat or they will be speaking them out?
We're going to talk about them, right? So we're going to do about 15, 20 minutes of actually sharing these. So just write them in your book and whatever you have in front of you, just write them down. Ahmed, is your second name Brahim?
No, it's Kazadi Kabuya.
Thank you. I won't forget that. Okay. It's coming your way in a sec. Building a pipeline, customer journey. Okay, I'm just going to send that to you in 1 second. But just to be clear, everyone, the task is write 5 things for me twice. Okay. Number 1 is who the prospect is and why they're a prospect. Number 2, how are you going to make contact with that person? Number 3, this is 2 things. What's a low touch point? What's a high touch point? Number 4, how do you pitch these people? What's a 2-sentence pitch for you to work with that person? Now, bear in mind, this might be different for everyone. It could be a customer, it could be a B2B, it could be a philanthropic foundation that you want money from. Okay. But I'd like everyone to just think about that. And we'll come back in about 10 minutes. Ahmed, did you receive the slides?
Them on my phone, but I'm trying to get them on my PCs. Just a second.
Cool. Nice one. Thank you. Yeah. Any questions? Anyone else? Well, Ahmed just pulls that up.
Hello. I guess you can get me.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Ari.
Okay. You said it's only 4, and you were like you were in need of 5 questions, and you said
sorry.
You said only 4.
Yeah, my maths is very bad, Arik. My mathematics is very bad, I think. But essentially, let's call it. Hold on. It's prospect, contact, cultivating. It's 5. You're right. So I'm going to say them again. 1, who is the prospect and why? 2, how do you make contact with them? 3, what is one low touch point that you'll use? 4, what is a high touch point you will use? And 5, what is a 2-sentence pitch that you would give them? Nice one. Cool. And okay, great. If I need mathematics lessons, Arik, I'm coming to you. Cool. Nice one. Anyone else? Any questions?
Hello, I have a quick question.
Yes, Panache.
So how do you avoid being too salesy? Like, how do you demonstrate credibility and build trust?
Yeah. Okay. Ash, my internet did something. I believe you asked, how do I avoid being too salesy and demonstrate impact? Is that correct?
Credibility. Sorry, credibility.
Yeah, great. So let me give you, that's a very good question, because I have sold products before that I don't think were that good. And I've sold products that were very good. ALA is one of those that are very good. And I've learned that number 1, numbers speak more than anything. If you can provide quantified numbers, okay, sales projections, impact numbers of how many people you work with or you touch, it just makes the whole thing a lot better. You still need to make it sound exciting and cool, right? So it's like maybe 30% nice words and pitch, 60% what's the actual meat on the bone here, right? What's the actual numbers? And then the other thing I'm going to say, I really want to highlight the voluntary leadership thing. If you can have someone that's credible in the eyes of the prospect, and they talk about your credibility, it's huge, right? So I want everyone to really leave this thinking about that, especially is, who do I know that's high up and successful in my geography or my industry that's going to help me get in the doors that I won't get in on my own? Don't be afraid. It's nothing to do with your pride. It's nothing to do with your credibility. I do it always in my job. I'm constantly asking you to help me, and it's transformative to your success. So I really, really recommend that.
Mr. Owen, can you see my screen?
Yes, Ahmed, thank you. I see it. It's great. So let's take 10 minutes. We'll come back. It's that for me is 6:15 South African time. And I'll ask a few people to talk about their customer journey. Okay, so yeah, Ahmed, you can leave that one on the screen. Just maybe go back to the task. And I guess I'll just say to everyone, if you want Ahmed to move the slide back to the customer journey one, just write in the chat and he can do that. But I'll see you all back here in 10 minutes. Cool. Thank you very much.
anyone with any questions, feel free to drop in the chat, or you can just you can turn on your mic and you say, I'll be able to help you.
Sorry, Ahmed. On making contacts, cultivating, are we supposed to provide examples for both touch points?
Sorry, who's speaking?
Sorry, it's Panache.
Okay, Panache, can you rephrase your question? Sorry, I didn't get that.
Okay. My question was on cultivating. Do we need to provide examples for both touch points, the high touch point and the low touch point?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. And I want you to think about how they relate to each other, right? It's like, for me, if I was going to do an email drip campaign, it's talking about an event that's going to happen down the line and how exciting that is. And then my high touch point is that.
Okay, thank you.
I just saw a message in the chat. I don't think this will take 10 minutes. You're correct. But if you could wait and then share with us in 6 minutes now, I guess, that would be great. And I'll just ask you to share one of them, but I'd like you to think about two just to get the brain tuned into this. Thank you.
Oh, it's nice to have you, Miss Natalia, with us. Thank you for joining.
Hello.
I'm sure most of you have met Miss Natalia, so
I'm just here for the vibes.
I think you might be bringing the vibes. As you.
Hello, hi guys. Hi Panache. Hi TK. Hello Shams. Thank you. Love it. Oh, cute. Okay.
Miss Natalia, with all that love in the house, that's very nice.
I know, I'm very touched. I'm like, oh, oh, hello, hello. Love it. Seems like everyone's working away. Nice.
Miss Nat, you have arrived as quite a celebrity. I'm not surprised.
So I'm here. But everyone's so great. No, I'm loving the energy. Sorry, I'm joining late. Nice to see you too, guys. Nice to see everyone working away. Oh, cool. Hope everyone has had a lovely day.
How was your art fair, Miss Nat?
It was good. It was
Good
good.
stuff.
Yeah, we got to see the photo gallery and school for photography and mixed media.
Very cool.
So it was nice. Yeah. It was nice to go and see all the lovely photography.
Very cool.
Okay, I'll let everyone work.
Okay, we'll come back in just a couple more minutes and start hearing a few of these customer journeys. How's everyone doing? Jumana, you're sitting there like someone that's bossed the task and found it super easy. Am I right?
Yes, I finished it.
Hey, I thought so. Hey? Okay, well we'll give a minute or two and then we'll all come back. I think Panache has probably pulled apart several pens in this space of time. And Manny, nice to see you. Okay, Ahmed, can I ask you quickly just to put up the full customer journey slide one more time, just before we present back, in case anyone wants to look at that and reference their work off that. And then we'll come back in about 30 seconds, a minute. Ahmed,
slide?
sorry. Yeah, the slide that has the finished journey, right? The one that has the lines, the dollar signs, and all the columns have some information in there. With that, you look confused.
I was saying I like what I see.
Hey.
This is really cool. This is really cool. Yeah.
Let's hope let's hope the entrepreneurs find this useful instead of just aesthetically pleasing.
Oh no, it does look, it looks like, I'm like, can I have these slides too, please?
Okay. Ahmed, are you able to project it on screen?
Yes,
Or is it
it's
on
already
screen?
on
Sorry,
screen.
am I missing it? Oh, sorry, it's on screen. Apologies. I've got my phone in the wrong mode. Yeah, cool. Okay. So we'll give 30 seconds and then we'll come back in, team. And who finished quicker than everyone? I was very impressed. It is, I believe it was our friend Shams. It was Shams. So in 20 seconds, I'm going to ask Shams to kick off, if that's okay.
Hi, I just can't listen clearly. Can you repeat again? Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, would you be happy? Would you be happy to talk first? Could you talk us through a customer journey that you made?
Okay, that's fine. I had searched and I could find two customer journeys that can support my business. As my business is focusing on freelancing, so the first one was Udacity. All of us know Udacity, and it's a website that offers courses in freelancing, and that support workers in need. I could contact them by emailing them, sending on the post.
Shams, can you hear us?
Shams, we may have lost you, unfortunately.
The network.
Could I suggest someone else jumps in, and when Shams comes back, we can go back to her.
We have the
But anyone
Will
else?
His hand up.
Yeah, please. Great. Thanks, Ahmed. Dawi.
Okay, sure. You guys are hearing, right? It's fine.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so let me try to introduce to you my business first in order to jump to the questions that you mentioned. So my business is like a small coffee shop that specializes in providing high quality coffee drinks and traditional Ethiopian snacks along with the coffees in a unique and comfortable atmosphere. We source the best coffee beans and invest in the skills and training of our few baristas to deliver the products to the consumers and also to provide an exceptional coffee experience for our customers. So to jump to your question, who are the prospects of my business? So the prospects of my business are primarily it is B2C, which is business to consumer. So our target consumers are coffee lovers who appreciate high quality coffee in unique atmosphere. We aim to attract people who are willing to, pay a fair price for a super coffee experience and who value the traditional like Ethiopian culture and cuisine and also like coffee ceremony because we also provide that. So our ideal customers are those also who seek a relaxing and like comfortable environment to enjoy the coffee and snacks. And so to contact these prospects, to contact these potential customers, we are like we will use a combination of online and offline marketing strategies. For the online, we will use like social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and also other social media platforms to showcase our coffee drinks and traditional Ethiopian snacks that we provide along with them, and also to engage with our followers on these social media platforms. Um, and also for the offline marketing strategy, we will also participate in local events such as like coffee tasting events or festivals and collaborate with other same objective businesses in the community to expand our reach. And the touch points that we use, I think the one low point is we use the fact that our prices are not the lowest in the market, which is fair, However, we will, highlight the superior quality of our products and the unique cultural experience we provide to justify our fair prices. And the other high point that we mentioned is that we will use is our commitments to sourcing the best coffee beans and investing in this in the skills and training of our field baristas to provide this exceptional coffee experiences for the consumers. We will emphasize the care, the attention we put into every cup of coffee we serve for the consumers, as well as the comfortable and welcoming atmosphere of our physical shop, which is located almost in the center of the city. And I think the last question was about pitching, right? Yeah, what is the two sentence which you will use to pitch the potential consumers? Um, okay, so I tried to prepare the two sentence pitch. So
Cool.
uh, it's like this. Experience the rich and authentic flavors of Ethiopian coffee and cuisine at Bunna. Bunna is the name of my business. From our high quality coffee beans to our traditional snacks and comfortable atmosphere, we are committed to providing a premium coffee experience. So this is the two sentences that I'm intending to use to pitch my potential consumers. Yeah, that's what I prepared.
Amazing. Thank you very much, David. So that was awesome. You have me sold, right? You have me sold on
Yeah.
being a customer. I want to buy the coffee and I want to come to to see the other products you have and the Ethiopian snacks. The one thing I'd like to give feedback on is that you have me on a call right now. So that's how you sold me, right? I want you to think about in your touch points, what is the actual platform you will meet that customer on, right? Because your content is so strong. It's like this quality of the product. You're assuring that you're going to train the team effectively and you're going to source the coffee ethically and correctly, and it's going to be quality. But I want you to come out of the mindset of why the product is so good and go into the mindset of how I'm going to make sure I'm in the same room as that person to tell them that, right? Because that's really the trick in the journey here is you have the pitch down, right? Like 10 out of 10. It's great. I'm sold.
Okay.
But it's because we're on the call. So when you go away and you apply this to your own business, I just want you to think really intentionally about how am I going to make sure I'm in the room with that group of people in the next 6 months, and then work towards that. Because your pitch is on point, man.
Thank you very much for your feedback.
Thank you, David. I am going to call on, I know who I'm going to call on, Jumana. And also you have your hand up, so I'm not really calling on you. Thank you for volunteering.
Okay, thank you. So first I choose Najwa. It's an educational company here in Egypt. And also the second one is National Geographic. So first, how I'm gonna contact them. So I'm gonna choose one of them, which is Najwa, and I will contact it through events here in Egypt. I go one of them before, and this is gonna help me to contact them face to face and ask for them to do a meeting. It will help me to really can and like pitching very well and making them see the product clear. And I think this is really important for me to make a direct content. And the second thing is how I'm gonna asking them about the money, but I didn't say I'm not gonna ask them like direct. I wanna like $500. No, I'm just first gonna tell them what I'm doing. So first, I'm gonna tell them that I do newspaper, and why is newspaper gonna help educational company? Why? Why they gonna invest in me? So actually, that they're gonna invest in me, and this is what I'm gonna tell them. One of their events, they said that they can't reach all of people, all of students here in Egypt, because not all students have phones or internet connection. And a lot of people don't even have an access to good internet connection. So this is why I'm going to tell them. So I'm going to tell them that my newspaper is for kids, and my newspaper also will going to help you to like direct your message for kids that they don't have phones or internet access. And this is going to be an article that talks about a lesson in their curriculum. As here in Egypt, the students from grade 1 to 6, they have environmental lessons, and this is why I'm gonna tell them to invest in my newspaper. As my newspaper Kagaz, we focus on environmental issues in creative ways. We make children interact with us, and this is why I'm gonna tell Najwa exactly, because they also have the same value as me. Their educational application is focused on interaction and how children could interact with the lessons. And this is what I do in my newsletter. So I'm going to tell them that we have the same value, and I'm going to stress on that they can treat all students. And this is what will make them different from other educational experiences. And also about reaching them, I'm going to see them the comics we made. As I do comics in newspaper, and I'm going to tell them that we're going to make your application as a character, a cartoon character, and this is going to help children to know more about your application. As you know, children love cartoons and interactive things. So I'm going to tell them that this is going to help you in your application also, and you can go and make this character in your real application. Like this is going to be a common thing. And also this itching gonna change when I go to something like National Geographic. As when I'm going to National Geographic, I'm not gonna focus on educational part. I'm gonna focus more on environmental part of the newspaper, and I'm gonna tell them about the comics also we made on newspaper. As National Geographic more focused on environmental, and I'm gonna tell them about the for example, the animals we made. We do an animal in comics as elephants. We do a lot of animals also, and this is gonna help me to make a common thing with us. And this is my pitching. I think that I'm gonna make the relation thing between us and the value. The more important thing for me is to stress on the value between us. Why I'm choosing this. And also, I'm going to tell them what they're going to benefit from it. Also, I'm going to make it clear for them how much newspaper we're going to print, how much people we're going to tell them about this newspaper. So I'm going to make it clear for them so they can, so it can help them to know how many students we reach. Yes, I think this is my pitching really.
Cool. Thank you, Jumana. Was that you? Was that you done, or did you have one more bit?
No, it's okay.
That's great. Thank you. Really, that was really, really good. I was very impressed. What I'm really impressed with is going back to the task at the beginning. Why does the candle holder need the candle? You really thought about why the newspaper and the education services you do are going to be impactful and useful for the person you're pitching to, right? So you've thought clearly about them. I think one piece of feedback I'll give, especially now I know what you do, you could really unlock grant funding, philanthropic grant funding. Okay, so after this, I would love you to go away and do the same task again, but for a foundation that could give you a grant. Okay. Just Google education platform foundation and then your country's name and do a few pages and you'll find something if you just look it up on the internet. And I would just like you to think about what you just said to me, but with in your mind, it's a foundation. It's like maybe the Moleskin Foundation. They're a good one. You're having them in mind, and how are you going to apply what you just said to me to them? And I work with foundations all the time. I think you make a very compelling pitch. So nice work. Okay, I'm going to go to Richard next, please. Thank you very much, Jumana.
Yeah, okay. So like based on the explanation and for the knowledge, I think if we use this kind of trend as a business, first of all, we are complaining and we are concerned that we help students and researchers to be able to convert into their local dialect for them to be able to comprehend and understand it more. So I think we will use the business to customer approach, and I think since they are going to be the one benefiting directly from it, and maybe some trade organization, because like they will be in need of the materials that we will be engaging, researching, and for the contact, well, because if people like individuals, it's going to be hard for them to use the product or for them to know what you are doing. And in the area of visiting, we'll use the low touch points. And the area of the low touch points, we'll use social media because like we are able to reach out to people very easily. We will, our cast will always be on board to the question and the rest of it. For the high touch point, I think since general things to populate, yeah, we again will call certain segments of people various schools and from various research centers, and we talk and discuss with them. Maybe they will be able to give us areas that we are lacking or that we need to improve on our software. Then the one pitch statement that of creativity that contributes to the progress of humanity. I think that will be my ending pitch to them. Thank you.
Nice, Richard. The connection was up and down, so I heard some, and I didn't hear some, but I did hear your low and your high touch point and your pitch, and that I want to just say well done, because we should not be afraid of using, let's say, our most standard tools to make a deal happen. Social media is one of our most useful and standardized tools at the moment, but it is one of the most effective. So I like you just going straight down the line, using your socials to engage, and then locking in a meeting and making the ask, and then your pitch was nice. Well condensed into one impactful statement. So thank you very much, Richard. We're going to take 4 more with hands up here. I see we're going to go to 3 more. Today, and Arik has just joined the club with his hand up, so we'll do 4 more. But can I ask Panache to go next? Panache, can you hear us? Do you mind going next? Thank you.
Hello, yes. Okay, is it my turn now or after?
Yes, yeah, your turn now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So for the prospect, I've identified Higher Life Foundation.
Cool.
Higher Life Foundation is a social impact organization promoting community development, especially in the field of education. So I've come to realize that there is an alignment of values right there with my project, the conscientization movement, which is slowly evolving into a social enterprise focused on human capacity development. Basically, human capacity development, upskilling communities. So in our messaging, right from the start, our focus will be on demonstrating that alignment of values and articulating a gap that they have. For example, in High Life Foundation, they offer scholarships to students from primary level right until the tertiary level. So we, I was thinking that, for example, we might come through with a project that focuses on upskilling youth, right? A gap that I have identified is in employability and access to jobs. So graduates who benefit from these programs often encounter challenges securing jobs and securing decent jobs. So that's something that we might focus on at this stage. And on the second stage, contacting, we might, for example, use cold emailing and, if possible, on-site visits. And then on cultivating, our focus will be on building a relationship. On the low touch point, we might focus on engagement on social media, for example, right? And then on the high touch point, hosting an event, and essentially our focus at this stage will be on providing some kind of value that they are looking for, be it communication gaps, availability, and things like that. And then on the fourth one, asking, for example, we can present a project that we can do together, right? This upskilling program, upskill youth program. And then on customer success, our focus will be on sustaining their attention. I'm so sorry, I keep on speaking as if it's a project that's actually going to happen, but but yeah, something like that. So our focus at this stage will be on demonstrating how our long-term plans align with their broader goals, in celebrating success, and finally, meeting their needs as agreed on earlier. This is all from me. Thank you.
Yeah, mate, that was great. Really well done. That was that was really strong. You understood the process of the customer journey really well, and I think aligned nicely with the foundation. I think I want to highlight in that exact customer journey, High Life Foundation, one of the most useful things to add in for you is going to be if you can have someone in your voluntary leadership introduce you to them or talk to them for you, right? So you still do what you just said. You still execute on the social media, you host the event, you understand the value, you think about recurring business and looking after them as customer retention. But if you go on their website, and I'm sure it says their board of trustees, right? And it will have a list of them. And you just take a screenshot of that, or you send the link to some of the best connected people in your network. And you say, this is a huge opportunity for us. Do you know anyone here that you can introduce me to? It's just going to accelerate the whole journey and make your life easier. So especially with philanthropic foundations, who's on the board? Who's an ally that you have in an influential place, and how do we make that connection? But well done, that was great.
Thank you so much.
Nice one, cool. Amani, over to you, and then we'll take Panther down, and then we'll wrap up. Amani.
Hello. So I want to first verify something.
Sure.
What we're asking for doesn't have to be money, right?
No, exactly. It could just be a partnership. It can be just B2B work together. Like you have someone in mind that you want to work with or receive money from, but like that someone or that something is going to transform your business. How do I use the next 6 months to get that person in my world? Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I have so far. The
Cool.
prospect that I'm looking at is a corporate, I believe. It's called Skypex. They are a company that provides baking ingredients. And my contact would be through a cold outreach. How I'd be cultivating my low touch point would be through emails. And my high touch point would be having meetings with them or hosting events. I would send an email to them introducing my business. I would include demographics displaying my company's popularity, our mission and vision statements, then ask for a partnership and list the benefits it would give them. And so I'm trying to summarize this into 2 sentences, but this is what I have so far. Hello, my name is Amani Katua. I am the CEO and founder of Cake O'Clock. Cake O'Clock is a tea bakery that is run by me, a young entrepreneur. My brand's mission is to make the highest quality of baked products that are not only tasty, but also preservative-free and contain natural flavoring. We're determined to make our customers happy. Our vision is to be the leading representative in Kenya of its taste and its excellence in pastry. We would like to have a long-term collaboration with you as our primary baking ingredient supplier. We are willing to acknowledge you as a partner in all baking fairs we participate in. This will be beneficial to you by giving you exposure as a supplier to other bakeries and to us as a reliable bakery ingredient supplier.
Amani, that was great. Thank you so much for sharing with the pitch as well. At ALA, we do the snap thing to say well done. So you're getting lots and lots and lots of these from me. That was great. I also like that you've applied that. That's the purpose of me doing this, is because I was hoping to share something that you can apply in different ways. And I'm very grateful for you applying that in a way that does not involve asking for money. It's really cool because you're right. Like that's going to transform your business, which is money. Okay, it's just not like a grant or something like that. And it's all about relationship building. And I think you've really put in the thoughts to get that person from not knowing who you are to making a strong pitch. I think as you build that one out over time, it's maybe about creativity. You know, some of these people probably speak to a few bakery suppliers regularly and have a few pitches regularly. Dawit had this cool suggestion at the start, right? That was to send a gift to a prospect for them to get to know you. If your products are great, maybe it's worth cutting some expense and sending them some for free, right? Just to grab their attention with a handwritten note. I don't know. You know, I have a friend once that's applied for a job and they put a CV in a bottle, like a message in a bottle, right? And it was really weird, but it worked. They got it. They didn't get the job, but they got the interview. And sometimes in life and in the early stages of this stuff, it's just about grabbing someone's attention. So think creatively about that. But really impressed. And thank you for sharing the pitch.
Thank you.
Okay, you're back with me. Sorry, my phone is telling me my data is running out. We're going to do 2 more, and then we're going to wrap up. Arik, and then we're going to. Oh no, sorry, I keep saying names and then switching them. Panther, you're going to start, and then Arik, you're going to go to second, and then we'll wrap up. Thank you very much for everyone for sharing so far and for staying with us. Panther Deng, may you take us away.
All right, thank you. I may not be able to share my screen with you. I don't know. Is that okay? All right, great. Thank you.
It's fine. We hear you very well.
All right, that's great. To start on with, I think my business. First of all, it's a liquid. I do liquid, which is a detergent that I use in my community. So what I'm doing or working on It's a liquid soap detergent. So that's what I'm doing. What I'm going to use on prospecting, I'm really going to do a corporate. The people that I'm actually going to partner with, it's a voluntary leadership. It's an NGO, which is in our community. It's called NRC, which is Norwegian Refugee Council. So they are really working in our community. And why I think it's very important to get in touch with them, it's because they really work towards the health of the community, the well-being of the community. And in that, I thought my liquid soap detergent will be more helpful in the community. So I would really love to partner with them because they will really like my passion or my potential of my business. So I will really partner with them. The way that I can also get touch or to contact them, I will actually I will use high touching points, of which I will read because I'm also at school, and the best way that I can meet them, I have a team that I have from my school here, which also help. I help them to make some kind of liquid soap at school, of which they can use as a detergent. Another way, so I partner with them. They at school here. We go to them as the NGO. We represent them what we have done in the school, and also we go out to the communities. We conduct some kind of training on how people should take care of their health, how they can use the liquid soap detergent. That's how I'm gonna really to meet them out. And also I can organize an event outside to teach the people like the perspectives of what of health. So and from there I really have to invite them to the event so that they see what I'm doing to the community. That will really I think will really grab the attention. So that's another thing. To pitching, I will also have to see them in the offices, the kind of the work that I've done through the time I've been running my business. I go with my papers, the places I've visited, and how far I'm going with the training in the communities. How am I delivering my services to the community? So these are the best way that I can meet them. I read them because they're also within our community here. So I will really meet them at their offices. At the time also I have my platform. So I do also send some of my training that I've conducted in the community through their website because they are also on social media. So that's another way that they will really to see what kind of work am I delivering. So those are the ways that I can actually get touch to them, and they really to see my process, how am I going with it. So these are the ways that I can get in touch with my cooperative, which is the NGO in a community, and with my business of liquid soap. That's how I can think. I'll get in touch to them, and thank you.
Panther, I'm not even snapping. I'm doing full applause. Well done. That was great. Really, that was so creative, and you thought so much about how you show off what you do. What I want to celebrate you for, that I think is useful for everyone, is you don't just do one thing, right? Like maybe your main product, Humana, is the newspaper as you see it, right? But when you and Amani with the bakery supplying product, but when you zoom out, right, really what you're doing is much wider, and you can bring it like that to someone, and maybe they're in a different space, right? But like Panther just did, you zoom out and you show the wider health benefit to the community and how it's engaging with the community, and then bring them to see that. And you go from being a liquid detergent provider to actually a community necessary business that this person has to get behind for other reasons. So I think that's the kind of the reason why we do this, is it makes you think about, instead of just that person is a prospect of mine, I'll walk up to them and I'm going to pitch them. You're thinking, I'm going to slowly build a relationship with this person, understand the different areas of their organization and their funding model, and then I'm going to know where I should aim for and go for. So Panther, really, that was great. Thank you very much for sharing. Arik, you are going to be the last the last customer journey to share. So take it away and close us out. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you. I'm real sorry I can open my screen so you guys cannot see me a little bit. So I'm sorry for that.
Oh, all good. Your audio is very good. So take it away.
Okay. So I will talk a little bit before I start with my customer journey. So I will talk a little bit about my business. So my business is a retail shop which I established last year, and I established this retail shop because my community was displaced by flooding, of which we left from our native land to central part of my country. We was far away from the town. So because of some risk, because my country is insecure, so I established this retail shop in my community to help and maintain the security of the young kids and the women who were living with me. So I established it, and I can go with foundation, I like foundation, because I established it myself, and I'm working with direct customers that are working with me and they are near with me. So I won't go with corporate. So the contract, like I will go with collaborate, because in my community, people don't believe in what they see, in what they hear, they believe in what they see. So which this is a little bit a challenge to me, and it's sometimes let me talk with them direct and advertise my goods and products to let them have good access of them, and how they could understand that I'm working with the goods that are proof and well organized. So I will go with collaborate. So on the part of low touch point, my community is not civilized, so I do use radio to treat them as low touch point, to let them know about my goods and how I could reach them. So this is because I love social media and I'm having good access to social media, but due to the obstacle that my community is facing, I don't use social media to reach my customers because they don't have good access to that. So I use radio, and sometimes I can I can use radio, and sometimes at bigger ceremonies like wrestling, because wrestling is one of our cultures, which is big in, and people can celebrate too much, and my population can go to that place. So sometimes I go and advertise my product there, and I tell them more about my product. So on the right touch point, I will go with board meeting, because my shop and the retail shop business right now is expanding, of which I established a retail shop in the nearest town, which is a little bit far from my camp, and that's where sometimes I have a monthly board meeting with my board members. I'm only having 10 board members, and hopefully maybe I will recruit some team if the business grow a little bit bigger. So sometimes I reach them through my board meeting, and we share the idea that we could share. So on the side of fishing, I do learn and study my customers. So I will go with the learning customers on side of my fishing. So sometimes I do train them on how they should maintain their businesses, and sometimes I do support the local businesses and what they're planning for their own businesses. So that's how I can reach my partners, and I would like to stop there. Thank you.
Amazing. No, thank you very much. That was great. I thought it was really, really impressive how much thought you put into like how your business came to this point in which it currently exists, but more so how you capitalize on the way the community is communicating with the radio. Right? It's good. It's important that you identify who the customer is, who the prospect is, and you communicate with them in a way that they will listen. So really well done. I'm looking at the time, and I'm afraid I have to jump off this in just a very short minute. And I just want to say thank you so much for everyone putting in the work and coming and thinking creatively about how you reach your customers. And I hope it's offered a little bit of value everything that I showed you there, I use in my work, and my team uses in my work, and I've used it in all the business development and the sales work I've done. It's just a straightforward pipeline, and it just requires the work, right? It's a long process that has a time frame on it, and you just have to make sure you're diligent and you're committed, right, and disciplined, and making sure the touch points go out at the right time. And I just hope it's helpful. Please feel free to find me on LinkedIn, and you can, if you have any questions or any follow-up stuff, I'm more than happy to answer that. Yeah, no, I really feel like you're all a lot more impressive and skillful than I am. I just work in one specific area, and you do it all by running the business. So I wish you all nothing but the best. Go well, good luck, and maybe I'll come to one of you for a job one day, okay, when your business is hitting the big time, okay? So just thank you all very much. I'm going to talk to Miss Knapp and the team about sharing details. I'll provide a way of getting in touch. I have WhatsApp, I have email, I have LinkedIn, but it's been a pleasure to speak to you all, and goodbye.